If you're an enthusiastic birdwatcher, forget about going to the Amazon or anywhere special. You don't need to. Just come to southeast London. Take a look in that tree there. I can see right now 4 green parakeets. There are more green parakeets here than there are pigeons.
No.
Yeah, there are.
No.
How many parakeets can you see right now?
3.
How many pigeons can you see right now?
None.
0. Okay, today. Well, first of all, today will be my last ride on the Bonneville before I head off to Paradise. So, Monica, I've just got this up at the moment on your phone. I don't know what you're filming at the moment. I'm going to ride into London, last ride before riding off to Paradise. More of that will become clear later. So what I want to do today, just make sure I have everything ready for my road trip on my Bonneville to a far off Paradise Island that I leave for in 4 days' time. I'm going to go and meet Danny in London for a catch up and a coffee, and sorry, I'm getting distracted by the birds. And also I'm going to go and clean the Jeep. This, by the way, where we are, this is Lesnes Abbey Park in Abbey Wood. All of this area, it used to be such an awful area when we first moved here, and then they had loads of lottery funding and they turned it into a stunning park. Like the amount of regeneration in Abbey Wood, turning it from really not a nice area at all to somewhere extremely pleasant is phenomenal. I'm not sure if I've ever shown this park before. This is our local park, only about 20 minutes away from us. It's Abbey Wood Park or Lesnes Abbey Park. It's one of the two. Anyway, that is the remains of Lesnes Abbey, which is a 1,000-year-old abbey, and all it is really just the foundations with a few walls remaining, but that's 1,000 years old. They've even created, somewhere in the distance, just where I'm pointing, that's an old monk's garden with loads of herbs that they've recreated that would have been just like it was 1,000 years ago. And then in the distance, you can see the tower blocks of Abbey Wood. And over and beyond that, central London, around about 12 miles away in the distance. I've done a double check and it's not 1,000 years old, it's about 900 years old. And about 500 years ago, it was pretty much knocked down to the ground, although some walls still remain. It's incredible to think these door arches and these windows here, they're still intact 900 years on. And you can see there the juxtaposition between the old here and the 1970s tower blocks that they built in Abbey Wood to try and do this really modern regeneration scheme that was a colossal failure. And then in the closer distance, you've got the new development of Abbey Wood, the regeneration, and then behind that, that is Central Business District. That's Canary Wharf. This area in Abbey Wood, with all of these apartments here, this was in the 1970s meant to be the future of modern day living, but it ended up becoming infamous as one of the biggest residential development failures in the history of UK property building, because instead of making lovely areas like it was supposed to, where you could have community elevated from roads, it ended up turning the whole place into a concrete jungle. So they're now doing a colossal amount of work to try and add some greenery to it. So the amount this area has improved over the past 5 to 6 years is colossal. And you can still see all of the the concrete structures around, and it's got such a brutalist feel to it that it's extremely nice. They're finally adding some nice areas in between it, for example this cycle lane and plants and things like that. So it's improving, but it's a fascinating piece of history and an example of a failed development. When you walk around it, I do understand what they were trying to do 50 years ago. So they wanted to elevate pedestrians away from the roads to make it completely separate. And you can see it there with the huge tower blocks there, all in exposed concrete, and then the walkway, which is above the road. But all it ended up doing is just creating gigantic, ugly walls right on street level that just never quite looked right. And they never brought the jobs that they promised they'd bring. So you ended up having this concrete jungle with no jobs at all, no new train station coming, no bridge crossing to the north of the river. It was just a really, really badly run project, and it made the entire Abbey Wood stagnate. But there are bits of it, like this overpass here going over to a park, where you think, yeah, I kind of get some bits of what they're trying to do. That looks spectacular. They do such an incredible job. It only takes them about probably 15 minutes start to finish, inside and outside. I took off the rear wheel cover a couple of weeks ago just because I really like seeing an exposed rear wheel on 4x4s like this. For me personally, I think it looks much better, and I noticed underneath it, that's the original Goodyear tyre, but more than that, it's a Wrangler specific Goodyear tyre. I didn't even know that was a thing. This isn't a sponsored video at all, but I'm so impressed with how that LANOGUARD rust proofing treatment works. Just look how good the underbody, and I've done it to the motorbike as well, look how good the underbody of the Jeep looks. Gigantically impressed with that. I've got a couple of parcels for my upcoming trip, and also one for the Jeep. I'll show you the Jeep first. This came probably about a week and a half ago, but I just won't have time to fit it before we leave. This is from a British company called GP that supply a lot of Jeep parts from a number of companies for the UK. Which way does it go? Like that. That gigantic heavy piece of metal will sit on the back underside of the Jeep. This is something I dreamt of getting ever since buying the Jeep. This was kind of the thing that I always had in mind to fit this. This receiver right here means that I'll be able to simply within 5 seconds plug in a motorcycle ramp to the side, and a motorcycle ramp will sit on the back of the Jeep, and you'll just be able to push the bike up and sit it right behind the spare tyre of the Jeep. I'm so excited to fit that. I think I'll probably have to get, in reality, a motorbike that's 140 kilos or less, just because I don't want to put too much pressure on it, but that will be a game changer. Oh, I've realised as well, it's not as easy as it looks. I think I'm going to have to get a US spec bumper for boring reasons where the number plate's mounted, and also side mount the number plate as well. This is what I want the setup to look like. Something like that would be a dream setup, but it's definitely going to cost me a little bit more than I thought. And now, on to the upcoming trip. First things first, this literally arrived 1.5 minutes ago. I've never owned one of these, and I've never taken one with me on any trips. Tubeless tyre puncture repair kit. Not only will this plug a puncture, there are also in this, I've never seen it before, three gas canisters that will inflate your tyre once you fix the puncture. So I don't need to bring a tyre pump with me. Those 3 gas canisters will inflate the tyre. Gas canisters, air canisters. It takes up a decent chunk of room, and I do want to be minimal, but I think that's essential because I don't know what I'd do if I got a puncture. And finally, this is something I want to go and put on the bike now. Wingman of the road. You'll see, or you will have seen in the last video, they sent all of us doing the Arctic road trip a Wingman of the Road tent, and I asked if they could send me mine early to my house so I can take it on this trip to Italy. This is a British company, and they make really nice traditional feeling tents with a sleeping bag wrapped in it. So within this you've got a tent and a sleeping bag, and I need to somehow strap this to the back of the Bonneville because I took off the rear rack. So right now I'm going to go downstairs and just make sure that this fits onto the back of the bike, and also how I'm going to do it. But it's been about, I would say, 3 years since I last used a Wingman of the Road. The last time I used it, I think, was riding down to Barcelona, and then I had to put it into storage, and then rats ate my last one, so it's very kind of Wingman to send me out another one. So let's see if this fits on the Bonneville. I didn't get to see Danny. He had a last minute work thing, so unfortunately I'll have to catch up with him when I get back. I feel like I'm being acquainted or reacquainted with an old friend here with Wingman of the Road. The difference is I have never, to the best of my knowledge, attached the Wingman tent without the rear rack. So what this will do is make it much snugger for me in my cockpit area of the bike, which may not be a bad thing. That is maybe even better as a setup than before. That is insane levels of all-day comfort. Wow. Okay, that is really, really good. Now all I'm going to do, put the quad lock, the chrome quad lock mount on. I want a chrome one on now. And that's it. I've got my tyre puncture thing. I'm ready to hit the road. I'm so excited. Obviously everyone's biased. Everyone always thinks their bike's the best looking bike, but that looks quite good. And I wondered where my key was as well. Right. Don't want to lose that. And there's the full setup. So, handlebar, mount, Pro Chrome from Quadlock. The difference with this one, it's got this chrome handlebar mount along with the chrome lever as well, and it just blends in really nicely to the rest of the handlebar. Of course, I've got the USB charger, so I'll be able to charge my phone while going along. It's got the vibration dampener underneath, which is that thing there that will protect my phone's internals. And I've just angled it away slightly from the clock, so I'll be able to see the speed I'm going while I'm riding along. And I think that looks pretty slick. It's the following day, and the final thing I need. I need to go ultra slimline and lightweight for this. So that is this, and this is what I'm going to...
How much?
55 pounds. This is what I'm going to use to boil water and heat the food. And then all I need to do, I think, by that, screw that onto this, heat the water. Okay, side of the road, or no, why do I keep saying it? Not side of the road, exquisite European countryside, just me cooking up my dinner with, which is the one I found like a gourmet meal. I think I'm gonna get about 6, maybe, no, you know what, I'm gonna get 8 of these, I think. Okay, maybe I'll get 4 of these and 4 of these and done. These are definitely the better ones. They cost a bit more, but it's like having a delicious meal. And I'll wrap it up there. I've got literally everything I need. So the next video, I can't believe it. I'll see you on the road to paradise. Thanks all for watching. See you in the next one. That's breakfast, lunch, or breakfast, dinner, and then lunch I'll eat out once a day.